Have you ever heard of voodoo? Did you even know it was music? In this documentary, Gabriella, Ciara, and MJ will prove that voodoo music has been stripped from its musical aspect in pop culture and turned into something not so good. Let's hear what young individuals have to say about it.
Hi, my name is Ciara. I'm from Brooklyn, but my family is from Mexico.
My name is Jordan. I was born in Brooklyn, New York. My parents are from Haiti, Port-au-Prince.
Hey, my name is Sophie. My family is Haitian, and I'm from Brooklyn. Yeah.
Well, I didn't know voodoo was like included in music, so I don't think it's not really important to me since I don't really know about it. And yeah.
So voodoo drumming is mostly associated with witchcraft.
I don't know much about voodoo music. It is not important to me because I don't know anything about it. From what it sounds like and what I know about voodoo, I believe the music is supposed to get the attention of like ancestors or like spiritual people. Spiritual things beyond them that they can't directly have access to without another thing between that type of, I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, that's what I think of it as.
To be honest, voodoo is not important to me since generally I don't know much about it like that. But I've seen a lot of it. For example, mentioning the drums, which are significant for it mostly when it comes to dancing or rituals, where it's used to pay respect to the dead, mostly during the graves and whatnot. At the same time, we do know that how back then it was accustomed to dancing, as now we see it with dolls and certain faces like that. Personally, I have not seen the dolls myself, but I have heard stories and I have overheard conversation of my parents talking about situations like that, or situations happening in Haiti as we speak that are quite mythical, believe it or not. There's multiple factors that affect this. It can be a language barrier, it can be perceptions through televisions or any kind of rumors. Doing some research in the past on this, I do know that it was developed mostly for religious things like cathedrals or practice of of positive things. Along the way, I guess you can say that some of these practices were different in their own way within the country. Some folks in different sections could use that to turn into black magic, because when it comes to religion and music, they do coexist exactly. For example, the drumming is to give it's a significance. It's like a backbone of the religion. It gives it the upbeat, as you can say, especially the way it sounds. You can say, in a sense, it sounds as if like it's like Africanized beats. But it's in a sense it's manipulated with religion to meet certain amends that a lot of people won't consider normal. For example, drumming next to a grave, which should be something that's not really normal, as compared to drumming to a regular person dancing, that's considered normal. But those are the kind of differences that you will spot in Haiti, where you can see if something is mostly voodoo for black magic or voodoo just for a simple religious aspect. But yeah.
So I think voodoo was stripped from its natural meaning and traditions and turned into something like black magic, because when back during, I don't know the exact date, but I know when Spaniards came to Africa, they first wanted to convert people that was doing the original voodoo stuff into Christianity, and they made it seem like something that was basically the devil worshiping type thing, and the way they portray it in movies. And it really wasn't. They actually used dolls and stuff from their ancestors and stuff to reach God or whatever, and reach their ancestors, who they thought were closer to God since they passed on.
I guess they just want to scare people. I guess like just assume like I guess specifically black people to like seen as scarier like, and like they just people just don't understand like the culture, and they don't understand the languages, so it's like they're just gonna assume like whatever they're doing is like seen as crazy. They're just gonna like think the worst of them. I think voodoo music sounds like, I guess like since drums are involved, like I feel like it's like more like cultural like music. It's like, I guess when you hear it, it's probably gonna sound like it's, I think it's gonna be loud and like kind of like peaceful, but a peaceful loud. So it's like, I don't know, I never heard it, so I'm just assuming.
No, I don't know. I didn't know that drumming was involved in voodoo music, and I never heard voodoo music. Or maybe I have, but I just don't know that I heard it.
Yes, I did know drumming was involved in voodoo music. As a matter of fact, drumming is involved in most of the music. So without the drumming, you don't really get the backbone of the voodoo itself. How does it sound to me? Honestly, it's quite similar. It's kind of hard to distinguish what is voodoo or not based on the drumming. It's mostly on the practices and the dances that signifies whether it's voodoo or not. Because as you can see, looking at the voodoo dances, it's not the same as any other dances you will get looking around generally in the music industry. So other than that, I'm not entirely sure how it will sound other than how the television pronounces it or precedes it. Spooky, something dark theme, low bass tones. But other than that, no, I'm not entirely sure how it is.
Most individuals that aren't from Haiti have a horrible interpretation of voodoo. However, in Haiti, voodoo actually means a ritual that Haitians enjoy. Voodoo music plays for healing rituals, religious ceremonies, to call or pacify the spirits, holding beginnings for new priests, telling fortunes, reading dreams, casting spells, invoking protections, and creating portions for various purposes. In the first part of the section, the musical rhythm is being played on a drum with vocal parts. There is a male soloist and a choir of women singers. The song is in a call and response form. This is where the soloist begins a sentence or thought, and the female group adds. Voodoo originated in what is now Benin Republic and developed in the French colonial empire in the 18th century among West African people who were enslaved. When African religious practice was actively suppressed and enslaved Africans were forced to convert to Christianity. Religious practices of contemporary voodoo are descended from and closely related to West African voodoo, as practiced by the Faun and Eve. Voodoo also incorporates elements from symbolism from other African people, including the Yoruba and Congo, as well as Taino religious beliefs.
Voodoo music typically consists of 3 rider drums. Sometimes it has an African iron bell or other objects that are very similar. The largest drum is the leader piece. While the middle drum adds the rhythm, there is also a small drum that provides a steady beat. The sengul is the middle-sized drum that creates a bass rhythm on which people dance to. It is played with 1 stick in one of your hands. The bula is a small drum which plays the danceable rhythms that give the Haitian voodoo drumming its soul, and the mama is the backbone and a time setter of the ensemble. Majority of the time, this music is played because participants are looking to be taken over by their guide. When this finally happens, Their dancing and actions express the character of their god. During this process, the person's essence leaves their body, which allows the god to take over. At the end of it all, the person usually falls down to the ground and gets reunited with its own essence. With voodoo drumming, believers make themselves vulnerable enough that the god enters their body, and as well as the drummer. Voodoo isn't accurately portrayed in movies, TV shows, and books. Most of the people that have practiced voodoo has never even seen a voodoo doll. Voodoo is an occult, black magic, or devil worship. People who practice voodoo aren't witch doctors or sorcerers. Voodoo isn't a practice intended to hurt or control others. Voodoo music, specifically drumming, isn't commonly practiced in America because majority of the people believe that it is casting a spell on others. It's best to see this drumming where a Creole community is present. An example of this is in New Orleans.